Imagine this. It's 2 a.m. in a quiet, rural town. The kind of place where the stars are brighter than the streetlights, and the nearest neighbor is miles away. You're a 911 dispatcher sitting alone in a dimly lit office. The hum of the equipment, your only company. Then, the phone rings. A man's voice comes through, panicked, screaming for help. He's begging you to send someone to his location. You trace the call, pull up the GPS coordinates, and freeze. The phone number? It belongs to a man who died 7 years ago in a fire. And when the police arrive at the scene, they find something impossible. A photograph of ***, taken years before, in a place you've never been. This is the story of the call that changed everything. Welcome back to Creep Vault, where we dive into the unexplained, the unsettling, and the downright terrifying. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because you won't want to miss what's coming. Today, we're unraveling a case that's equal parts mystery, horror, and heartbreak. A 911 call that defies logic and maybe even reality itself. Let's get into it. Sarah received call 911. What's your emergency? Caller said, "Please, you have to help me. They're coming. I can't get out. Send someone, please. I'm at the cabin off Route 17. Please hurry." Sarah replied, "Sir, stay calm. Can you confirm your location? Are you hurt?" Caller screaming and said, "There's no time. They're here. The fire. Oh God, the fire. You have to..." That was Sarah Thompson, a 911 dispatcher in the small town of Blackwood, Montana, population 2,000. It was February 12th, 2023. And this call was unlike any she'd ever received. The man's voice was raw, desperate, and the screams in the background sent chills down her spine. She traced the call to a set of coordinates deep in the Blackwood forest, a place known for its isolation. But when she ran the phone number through the system, her heart sank. The number was registered to a man named Daniel Harper, a man who, according to every record, died in a cabin fire in 2016. Daniel Harper was a recluse, a former park ranger who lived alone in a cabin 20 miles from town. On November 8th, 2016, his cabin went up in flames. The official report said it was an accident, a faulty gas heater. No foul play, no survivors. His body was identified through dental records. So how, 7 years later, was his phone calling 911? And why was he screaming about a fire that had already happened? Sarah immediately dispatched 2 officers, Deputy Mike Callahan and Officer Lisa Reyes, to the coordinates. They arrived at 2:45 a.m., expecting, well, they weren't sure what to expect. The cabin was exactly where the GPS said it would be, the same one that burned down in 2016. It was a blackened ruin, untouched for years, surrounded by overgrown pines. No signs of life, no fresh tracks in the snow. But what they found inside would haunt them forever. The photo was old, yellowed at the edges, but unmistakable. It showed Sarah, smiling, standing in front of a cabin that looked exactly like the one Daniel Harper died in. The problem? Sarah swore she'd never visited that cabin. The photo appeared to be taken years ago, before the fire, before she even moved to Blackwood. How could a picture of her be in a place tied to a man she'd never met? To make things even stranger, Sarah listened to the 911 call again and compared it to an old news recording of Daniel Harper's voice. The cadence, the tone, the slight gravel, it was identical. There was no mistaking it. The man on the call sounded exactly like Daniel Harper. But how could a dead man make a phone call? And why was Sarah's photo in his cabin? Sarah couldn't let it go. she started digging into Daniel Harper's life. He was a loner, but well-liked by the few who knew him. He'd worked as a ranger for 15 years, knew the forest like the back of his hand. But in the months before his death, he'd been acting strange. Locals said he'd been paranoid, claiming someone was watching him. He stopped going into town, started locking himself in his cabin. Then came the fire. The official report said the fire was accidental, but Sarah found inconsistencies. The fire department noted the blaze burned hotter than expected, almost like an accelerant was used. There were rumors Daniel owed money to some shady people in town, but no evidence ever surfaced. Could his death have been more than an accident? And what did it have to do with Sarah? Then Sarah found something that turned her world upside down. A missing persons report from 2014, filed in a town 200 miles away. The name on the report? Sarah Thompson. The description matched her perfectly. Same height, same birth date, same scar on her left wrist. But Sarah had no memory of being missing. She'd grown up in a different state, moved to Blackwood in 2020. The report included a photo, her photo, same one found in the cabin. It was like someone had erased part of her life. Sarah couldn't stay away. She went back to the cabin, alone, searching for answers. Inside, she found more than just the photo. Hidden under a floorboard was a small fire-damaged journal. Most pages were burned, but a few were legible. They were Daniel's, written in the weeks before his death. He wrote about a woman he met in the forest, someone he called his. He said she was in danger, being followed by men in suits. He wanted to help her, but then the entries stopped. The journal hinted at something sinister, a cover-up. Sarah started to question her own past. She contacted her family, who confirmed she'd vanished for 3 months in 2014 with no explanation. Doctors had called it amnesia. But now, Sarah wondered if she'd been in Blackwood, if she'd met Daniel, if she was the cess in his journal. Was the call a glitch in time, a message from the past, or something darker? Theories swirled in Sarah's mind and in the town's. Some said Daniel's ghost was reaching out, trying to warn her. Others believed the call was a prank, faked with old recordings. But the photo, the journal, and Sarah's missing months couldn't be explained. Then, a week later, Sarah got another call. Same number, same voice. This time, he said her name. Sarah left Blackwood the next day. She's still searching for answers, but the call stopped. The cabin remains empty, the journal locked in a safe. The police closed the case, calling it an unexplained anomaly. But the questions linger. Was Daniel Harper's death really an accident? Did Sarah cross paths with him in a forgotten past? Or was something, or someone, trying to send her a message from beyond? We may never know the full truth behind the 911 call that came from a man who died 7 years ago. But one thing's certain. Some stories don't end. They haunt. What do you think happened? Was it a ghost, a glitch, or a conspiracy? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you want more stories like this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious and maybe, just maybe, think twice before answering a call from an unknown number.